Hi and welcome to Stay in London vlog, and today I wanted to talk to you about key exchange and why it's important to have a solution that works really well for your guests. So what are the 5 best practices in London in 2023? Number 1 is smart locks and digital access. Smart locks are not very popular in the UK yet. They're very standard in the United States, they're used quite extensively, and in the UK, this is still quite a new thing. So what is a smart lock? A smart lock is a Wi-Fi connected or internet connected solution that lets you keep track of all of the entries and creating a code for each guest. You have total visibility of who's entering your property and when. This type of access is very convenient for the guests because they don't have to go anywhere to collect the keys. They just arrive at the property, put in the code that you've given them, and it works very smoothly. This solution is also great for the host because you have full control of what's happening. You can change the codes for each guest and they can never lose the keys because the lock doesn't have any keys. Number 2 is key lock boxes. This is used quite extensively in London. In Stay in London, we use this option quite a lot. However, this option might be difficult in, let's say, blocks of flats where installing a lockbox is not allowed. You'd have to keep it a bit further out, sometimes on a bike rack or on a fence. Not the best experience for the guests, but sometimes it's the only option that the hosts have. At Stay in London, we would also change the access codes for these lockboxes after a number of guests have been to the property, just to ensure safety. When selecting a lockbox, it's also very important to choose a reliable manufacturer so that it's police approved, it's not easy to be broken into. What we also advise is to keep it further away from the property, so even if somebody breaks into your lockbox, they wouldn't know which property the keys are for. And also please make sure you don't have any tags identifying which flat or house the keys are for. Number 3 is meet and greet. Some management companies in London and some hosts, they choose to do that and meet the guests in person. However, this is a very time-consuming solution, and very often guests' travel plans change. So sometimes you'd have to wait for them for 2 or 3 hours at the property, which is not the best way of using your time. So meet and greet is an option when hosts live not too far from the property, they have easy access to it and don't have to travel. However, that's not always the case. So that's not an option that's used very extensively across Airbnbs in London. And number 4 is using a property management company like Stay in London, which would take care of all of the key exchange and access issues for you. At Stay in London, we use lockboxes, we use KeyNest, which is a solution I will discuss a bit later in this video, and all kinds of other ways of accessing the property. And we will monitor guests and make sure that they have all of the instructions and make the process as smooth as possible. Number 5 is neighborhood partnerships. So for example, one of our clients, they have an agreement with a coffee shop that's just downstairs from their property where they've agreed to keep the keys safe for us and hand them over to the guests. However, that's not the most reliable solution because the coffee shop has opening times that can be restrictive, and sometimes, let's say the coffee shop has hired a new person and they have no idea what's happening with these keys, so it can be a bit confusing for both the people working at the coffee shop as well as the guests. However, this solution works in some cases and others it don't, so it really depends on what type of property you have and if you have good relationships with your neighbors or any businesses that are close to your property. And last but not least is using KeyNest, which is a company that has contracts with convenience stores all across London where guests can collect the keys and drop them off whenever they want. This also gives you, similarly to smart locks, gives you visibility of who collected the keys and when they were dropped off, and you can also issue specific codes for each guest so there's no confusion. The drawback of using KeyNest is sometimes there isn't one next to your property, so guests might have to walk a bit. That doesn't create the smoothest experience for them. In other cases, however, if the KeyNest location is next to your property, it's a very easy way of ensuring guests have access and keeping track of all of the movements of your key so that you never lose them, you know where they are at any given point. KeyNest attach a fob that basically needs to be scanned each time the keys are collected or dropped off. To conclude, I can say that ensuring a smooth experience of key collection is very important for a successful Airbnb. It's the starting point of your guest's journey, and it's important that everything goes smoothly and they don't have to wait around in front of your property without the keys. If you have any questions or you would like to discuss how to ensure the best key access for your property, or would like to discuss property management services at Stay in London, please get in touch with us at the below address and we'll be able to advise you. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.